Welcome to the Colby Soil College Victory Garden. I'm Leon Milan, and today we're going to have a look at our Victory Garden. We're going to spend a little bit more time on garden maintenance and specifically tomatoes. What do we need to do to make sure our tomatoes are healthy and also going to give us the best production? Let's look at how a tomato grows. A tomato grows in what's called an alternate growing structure. The stem grows, it makes a leaf, the stem grows again, there's another leaf, grows again, there's another leaf, and then at some stage it makes a fruiting branch. So the fruiting branch here, we can see it's not the same as the leaves, and this is where all the little flowers are on, and there's even an itty bitty little tomato on it too. Why do we want the tomato to grow like in one single string all the way up, and why don't we just let it grow? Maybe two reasons. The one, from a production point of view, if you look at this, we're going to get fruit over here, fruit over here, fruit over here, fruit over here. So it's really a wonderful way to have the tomato produce fruit over the entire season. The other reason we want to do this is, remember, tomatoes are very susceptible to fungal diseases. They need good ventilation. If we just let them grow, they're going to become so bushy and will lack that ventilation. So another reason we trellis them up like this is because we want to have good ventilation between them. All of these, I've cut the bottom leaves off so that there's a good 6 inches. And even where they get too crowded, I've trimmed them off so that they don't grow into one another. So now we need to get rid of the suckers. And the suckers is a tomato term, it's not reference to any person. Here, right there, in that nodule between the stem and the leaf, is what we call a sucker. If we let this go, this is going to become another whole branch. So that we want to get out. When they're this size, you literally just grab it and pull it off. And here is another one. This one is a bit bigger, but you can grab it and pull it off. When you pull it off, don't pull it down, because then you create a scar all the way down the tomato and give it more place where disease can come in. So now our tomato is pruned, but we need to trellis it. We need to find a way that it holds on to the string. In the garden, I use a trick. It's like a little mountain climbing trick. Get a piece of twine, and I'm going to make what's called a Prussic knot. I fold my little twine double so that it has a loop. I put my loop around, and I take the two tails, I pull them through the loop once, and I pull them through the loop a second time, and then I just cinch this thing up nice and tight. Shift it up, and if I pull it, it holds on to it. So now I can actually move it to exactly where I want it to be. So I'm going to move it down, and the best place to tie our tomatoes up is under what I call a shoulder. So there's a shoulder. I do not want to tie it up under the fruiting branch, because then I will interfere with the plant, with the flowers and the fruit. So here it's pretty simple. I've got it up there. On this side of the tomato, I'm just going to make not too tight. I'm going to leave it some space. There we go, just a little knot. And now I can cinch this up, pull it tight, and now my tomato is really nice and trellised. As the tomato grows, I do the same thing. I prune it as I go up, and I tie it onto that. So if you have the container garden, the same really applies. We have one tomato in our container mix. So here's our container with 2 lettuces that are looking beautiful, and the basil that's looking great. And here's our tomato. What I could definitely do is cut this little leaf out, maybe even cut that leaf out so that it's nice and clear at the bottom. But what you can see, I put a stake in here. I tied it to my stake. I could probably tie it again, and I already have my first little fruit coming off my little container garden. Let's look at another example. So here's a tomato that grows into a tomato cage. It's not trellised up. That's another option. You can see this little plant really needs a lot of attention. If we leave it like this, it's going to get way overgrown. Look at all the growth at the bottom. It's going to get way overgrown, and it will have a much higher likelihood to get disease. What we should probably do here is to be brutal. Since this is not mine, I'm not going to cut it, but this is our neighbor's. One should be brutal and cut out this whole section over here maybe that whole section over there, and really open it up so that it gets more ventilation. So if you are using a cage instead of a string to trellis it up, that's another great option. You can be a little less rigorous by not cutting all the little suckers out, but you still need to make sure that you control it and make sure that it gets good ventilation.